We are live here from Juniker Jewelry. Boom, shakalaka boom. You tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. And boy, is it reality this morning. Here it is on a Valentine's Friday. Again, we're broadcasting live from Juniker Jewelry. And, man, we got to love modern technology. The second we go live is the second my computer decides to do an update. So we are by phone. We are via the Mazda Jackson phone line here for just a few minutes while we get things up and rolling back on the online stuff and back on the radio. But again, we're live via the Mazda Jackson phone line. I am sitting next to Shaun YURTKURAN. He will be here with me this morning. Again, it's Valentine's Friday, and we are live on location at Juniker Jewelry right here on Highland Colony Parkway in Madison. They open at 9 a.m. this morning, and guys and girls for that matter, what a great way to start your Valentine's by swinging here, by swinging by here and picking up a nice little trinket or something even nicer than a trinket for your significant other. They've got some specials going on today for Valentine's, and of course they've got all sorts of great programs here. One that really piques my interest, and we're going to get into all kind of stuff today. We're going to talk about Andy Gibson versus the city of Jackson and the cell phone tower they want to put on the fairgrounds. We're going to talk about, let's see here, I got all kind of notes on my computer, of course. We're going to talk about Tate Reeves going full crazy person with Jeremy England over this early voting bill, and a few other things that I want to get Shaun's opinion on. There's always some stuff to talk about in Jackson and whatnot. But as I was saying about Juniker Jewelry, they got a really cool deal here. It's called the Juniker Jewelry Diamond Stud Program. And what that consists of is buying diamond studs from them is more than just a purchase. They realize it's an investment. When you're ready to upgrade, they're going to credit you 100% of your original purchase price towards a larger pair of diamonds. And it's a lifetime trade-up program that grows with you. Guys, that's pretty cool that the jewelry store is going to give you 100% of what you paid for that. Imagine that in car terms. Imagine you bought a car and you were guaranteed the life of that car for that dealer to buy that car back from you for that price. That's what they're doing here with the jewelry store and with diamonds. And Shaun, I know you can't talk right now, but I can see your brain turning over there, thinking that is a really good deal. I mean, you're a foreigner, or sorta, and you guys are traditionally pretty cheap. And so I know, I see the wheels turning over there. So I can buy a diamond. I mean, it's almost a good investment, versus the dollar and what goes up and down. So we're I got a text from my buddy Corey. He said the car business has that. It's called a lease. That's true to an extent. That is true to an extent. Y'all bear with your boy here for a second. We're getting all this back up and rolling. I knew this computer. I set it kept threatening to do a restart this morning with an update. I moved it to 7:07 p.m. and we go live at 7:07 a.m. and it did not acknowledge my change to p.m. But as life goes in the big city, y'all give me just a second here. We're getting rolling, and this will be a great radio show, one way or another. Isn't that a song? One way or another. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna get you. Anyway, it is. Or is it maybe even from the 70s? To my producer there in the studio, we are fired back up. We are fired back up on the clean feed, so we should be coming through the studio there. Let's get the video feed going here.
And we should be 100 on everything working right, barring any issues here. All right, I'm going to hang up the phone. We are live on the radio. Shaun, your headphones should have everything coming through. Yeah. We're on the internet. Let's get this show on the road. Hey, look, man, I appreciate everybody's patience there. Had a little hiccup, but we're good to go. Shaun YURTKURAN, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, what's up?
Man, we are We are live on location here at Juniker Jewelry, man. Hadn't this been a fun growth to see all this stuff kind of get to this point?
Yeah, this is great, man. This is a really nice place too. I've never been in here.
This is a phenomenal facility. I want to thank he's Kim Wade's producer, but he's our top sales guy at WYAB, Cliff Bowen. He's sitting across from us. Got up early this morning. Cliff, have you ever even seen it this time of day? No, I didn't think you had. You're definitely not a morning guy. You're a Kim Wade afternoon fella.
What's Kim doing right now? He's asleep, isn't he? Yeah,
no. Kim's 80 years old, man. He's been up since 3 a.m. drinking coffee, reading conspiracy theories on the internet, and getting ready to be next Mayor Jackson.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, man. Shaun, look, what's something we've been paying attention to is this Tate Reeves versus Jeremy England debacle online. And it's wildly interesting because, well, we, as a conservative, not necessarily a Republican, but as a conservative, we love it when Donald Trump does this.
Mm-hmm. Gets into these fights and calls people out. Yeah. But
this is so but that's not out of character for him. We expect it from him.
Sure.
This is way out of character for Tate. And you had the best comment, and I'm not just telling you this because you're my boy. Yeah. You had the best comment under Tate's Facebook post concerning this, and you said, hits pander button, blows up in face, or something to that extent.
Yeah. That's right.
And I feel like that's exactly what happened. He hit the pander button, and it did not work out for him.
Clay, I think it's an example of like his software is not updated. You know, so he goes after this, which seems to be like an old position. And then I saw him, if you notice, it's a pattern with Tate Reeves. He did this a few weeks ago with the felons voting, changing some of that I think Price Wallace put that bill forward. And a lot of conservatives are for that, fixing that. And Tate immediately turns into his little Facebook thing, turns it into, see, Mississippi, we won't allow murderers to vote. I mean, like, dude, that wasn't what that bill was about. It wasn't, nobody said a murderer was going to get to vote.
No.
But you turn it into like, it's just like this. Whoever runs that Facebook page has turned that
this is social media in general.
Yeah, social media just turned that into just this pandering cesspool. And this is, but I think this has gotten worse than any of that, though. This is like, he must have some direct. He's not just letting the social media guy go crazy. Like, he's had to have some input into
he's clearly sitting there beside him. I mean, Donald Trump don't actually type his tweets. I mean, he's got somebody sitting beside him, and he checks it. Donald spell checks it all to make sure it's wrong. No, spell that wrong so they know it's me. But
he's dictating the tweets, so he's got to be, because that sounds like him.
This ain't a rogue social media manager.
No. I mean, I'm talking about Donald, too.
Oh, yeah.
Donald definitely does. But he's, for the way this kind of and it's like he's so angry about it. I mean, it's really, you can tell, and then Jeremy England is constantly posting, and he actually sounds like a rational human being in the defense of it. So
he does. But I have seen some stuff like Joel Carter, rep from the coast, came out and it's like, somebody's got to be the adult in the room, guys. Like, come on, man. If anybody that knows you, I mean, I don't mean that as an insult either, but he's a guy that likes to have a good time.
Yeah.
But it's funny to see the conservative infighting, but I don't like it when it's over stupid stuff like this. Like going, what I've called it the woke right. Mm-hmm. Tate is acting like the woke right. He went straight to, I disagree with you. You're a Democrat.
You're immediately a Democrat, even though it's the position of the national party. It's the position of the president, and I don't know how that's. It's great. Why do you think he's so against this?
I don't know. Well, because it's easy pandering. He thought, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's anchored down and not wavered from it, regardless of the blowback. Mm-hmm. Somebody that knows Tate really well told me one time. I said, "Why does Tate move so slow on stuff?" I mean, he's weeks behind, sometimes months behind, cultural war type stuff, or national agenda stuff, or news that conservatives are plugged into. He's like, he does polling on everything before he inserts his opinion. Well, the polling was wrong, and I've been saying for a while now, conservatives are not participating in polling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have been saying that. Yeah.
That we don't trust it. We're not participating in it. Yeah, for the most part. And you brought up a great point yesterday. It's like, how are you asking the question? Oh, it was a different topic, but you can poll things away to get the answer you want. Like if they polled this, I bet you they said, do you think elections should be clean and fair and secure?
That's what I was about to say, yeah.
They did not say, do you think if early voting was clean, fair, and secure, would you be for it? I guarantee they misworded it to get the answer they wanted.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And as far as I know, what I'm looking at, and I don't know the particulars of all of Jeremy's bill, but it sounds like if you go and vote at the circuit clerk's office, there's people there. It's a machine. It looks about as secure as it can get. So I don't know what the worrisome about cheating is there. I'm not sure. Like, I can see like the mail-in ballots is a problem and that kind of stuff, but but this seems pretty secure.
It does. And here's the other thing: people are flipping out about the machine. We don't have dominion here. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying other machines aren't corruptible, and I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying Dominion was corruptible. Do not sue me.
That, yeah.
Do not sue me.
No, I'm not saying that either.
But that was the hubbub, right? There's these Dominion machines, and look, I bought right into all of it too. I get it, but the way they want to do this, I mean, to me, what it felt like is that Tate called every election official and every circuit clerk potentially corruptible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, because if the way that this is the mechanics of it, how are you going to rig this the way it's set up? From the brief part I read about it, I just don't see how there's any problem with this. It just gives people that, I think Jeremy wrote that on a Facebook post pretty well. It gives working people that it's hard for, man. I've said this, and this is something that, I used to take in political science classes and talk about a lot for years, is the, it's hard for like a blue collar person to go vote on a Tuesday. Between 7 and 7. That's not easy.
It's very hard. And I go back to the car business side of things. And I had a guest on the show yesterday that's a retired educator, and he spent quite a while in the car business. And we talked about from both those perspectives. Man, if you go vote somewhere on, especially a presidential election, the governor election, these big elections, if you go vote, it can be a 3 or 4 hour adventure in somewhere like Brandon.
Yeah.
Like you got to go to City Hall, any of those locations. That is a demographic of folks in the suburbs that get out and vote. And it's important to them, and I respect the heck out of them for that. But, man, if you're on commission sales or you work somewhere, you work at the hospital, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. And, I mean, it is hard. And it ain't supposed to be easy either. I get it to an extent, but life has changed. Society has changed so much since that day of voting was instituted. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm guessing that was in 1776 when we became a country. I don't know the exact start date of it, but. Sure.
Me either, but yeah, something like that.
But, we used to live in much smaller communities, much more localized communities. There weren't these major metropolises. People didn't live and work 45 minutes, or they didn't live 45 minutes from where they work. The woman was always at home with the kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have changed societally where we need to, I think, I don't like having multiple voting days, but as far as like at the precincts, but the early voting, we already have it too. It's called absentee voting. Tennessee's got early voting. Texas has early voting. Florida. They keep saying we got to follow what they do with school choice and Donald Trump's first school choice. Well, Donald Trump, if we're going to use that agenda and use that narrative, Donald Trump is for early voting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not doing it because Donald Trump's for it. I'm saying do it because it's wildly convenient. And I think it gets more people out to vote. You're missing a lot of voters because you're not letting them. I know a lot of people who don't vote because they just can't get away from work to do it.
Yeah, it's very hard. We
got to take a break here. WYAB, if you want to text in, the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. We're broadcasting live from Juniker Jewelry. They open at 9 a.m. Swing by here at 9 or thereafter and get your significant other a nice piece of jewelry. We'll be right back on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here with Shaun YURTKURAN. We are broadcasting live on location for the first time ever out of the studio and here at Juniker Jewelry, located right here on Highland Colony Parkway in Madison. If you're familiar with where Madison Central High School is, we're just a block away from Madison Central High School, and I can look out the window and just about see the brand new Kiefer's restaurant across the street here. So easy to find if you're familiar with Madison. They open at 9 a.m. and the big Valentine's Day sales event kicks off with a bang. Looking forward to seeing everybody. I'll hang out here for a little bit. So if you want to swing by in that 9 to 10 a.m. hour, stop by, say hey to myself. I don't know how long Shaun can stick around this morning, but I'll at least stick around and try to say hey to anybody who wants to swing by and get a free FAFO sticker. I've got some with me. And check out the great sales they have here at Juniker. Such great deals, but not limited to, an unmatched selection. With over 10 times the inventory of most jewelry stores, Juniker Jewelry offers an incredible variety of fine jewelry, engagement rings, watches, and estate pieces. And apparently, I don't have it here on my notes, but I saw something about Rolexes here. Guys, I don't care who you are, how old you get. You say Rolex, all of our ears perk up a little bit. There's just something about owning a Rolex.
It's like, I don't know why that's still something that I aspire to. It is, and it's stupid, right?
I don't even wear watches.
Yeah, it's just
I want a Rolex.
Right, me too. I can't. It's stuck in your head.
It is. I want a Rolex. Oh, here it is here. They have pre-owned Rolex watches. A large selection of pre-owned Rolex watches, all in stock and available for immediate purchases, no wait list. Apparently that's the thing with Rolex, is a wait list.
I'm gonna look. Okay, I'm gonna hang around for a little bit and look at those just to see what that is.
Well, look, man, swing by here, Juniker Jewelry. Come check out the Rolexes and get your girlfriend, wife, significant other something from maybe just little diamond stud earrings or a little necklace, maybe a little ring or something. A lot of people get engaged on Valentine's. It's a great place to start that journey into wedding bliss.
Do they get any of those? What is it called? The rappers wear
the medallions
or something piece,
like a no limit medallion.
Yeah,
or Death Row Records medallion. I'm sure we can get one.
We go with it. Okay.
They do custom jewelry here.
Yeah.
So they can do anything. We'll do a FAFO medallion.
Yeah, I think you need one.
Shoot yeah. Shoot yeah. Hi.
Don't stop at a Jackson gas station while wearing it, though.
No.
Don't.
Or anything else.
Yeah.
Or anything else. Shaun, let's circle back to the topic we were just talking about, the early voting battle royale between Tate and Jeremy England. And like I said, I thought it was funny. I kind of got off track last time. I thought it was funny that Joel Carter chimed in and said, "We need the adults back in the room, guys." It was like he's upset, like two of his buddies are fighting and he's stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, no, dog, pick a side. Pick a side.
I think I'm reading this Magnolia Tribune article. Apparently, Joel Carter, I think, voted against the measure this year, so that they voted him in. The two guys that are running for Secretary of State, Joel Carter and Senators Jeff Tate, both voted against it. But the thing is, I just was thinking about this last fall. Everybody I know seems to have voted absentee. I'm using in quotes for the presidential election. Everybody's very excited. Mississippi's a conservative state. It went for Trump by like 23 points, something like that. So they were all out. Everybody was absentee, if you noticed that. I'm not questioning everybody. I'm just saying this is anecdotal. What
all
I
you got to be out. All you got to do is be out of town for work.
Yeah,
I was in Florida.
There you go.
That's 3 towns over from where I live.
So everybody
I got to go through Pearl and Jackson to get to Florida.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody was doing this anyway, and we're one of what here it says in the Magnolia Tribune articles that we're one of only there's 3 states that don't have this. 3. I mean, this is not making any sense to me whatsoever. Why to have this kind of fight?
Well, and look, people were texting into my show the other day when I was talking about it, when interviewing the senator, and like, no, not the machines. We don't trust the machines. Not now. Why now? I'm like, why not now? I mean, it's 3 years for another presidential election. There's nothing. There's no impending election that needs to be stolen to do it now.
Don't we use the machines when we go vote?
We do. We've been using machines for years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So what's the difference whether we use it?
Mississippi doesn't have legitimate election theft. Certain counties have election issues. Hines, looking at you.
Yeah, right.
Hines, looking at you. But I don't think that has anything to do with the machines.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And you have to go to the circuit clerk's office to vote, right? Is that correct? Part of the bill? I think that's it.
You have to go do it in person, just like you were absentee.
The precincts are not open to go vote. It's just the circuit clerk's office.
Correct.
Okay.
And you have 15 days instead of 45. I'm not sure how we landed on that number 15. You know why? And would we still have absentee at all? I guess not. If you would, yeah. Why would you? Well, you would have absentee for people who are going to be out of state.
Yeah, people. That's what I'm saying.
Like military stuff of that nature. That wouldn't change. But as far I don't know how they landed on 15 days instead of 45. What kind of stress does that put on the circuit clerk's office? Having that many people in there in that condensed amount of time, maybe we need to look at that.
That's the only argument to me that's legitimate against it. It would be what kind of stress it would put on the circuit clerk's office.
Yeah,
that would be something that is a legitimate argument, I would think. But other than that, I don't know what is.
Yeah, does it provide funds for them to hire extra staff for that time period? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I need to look at the details of it. But the argument is more about should we have early voting or not the minutia of the bill. And Tate is just all in on this being for the Democrats. He said David Blunt. See, Tate lied too. Mm-hmm. He said that David Blunt laid this out in his state of the state rebuttal.
Yeah,
and he said no, I didn't. I didn't say that.
He didn't say that. Okay, yeah, I don't remember it. I watched a little bit of it, but didn't see.
Yeah, I mean, he came out and he replied to, I didn't say that, and several other people said he didn't say that too. I mean, other conservatives said he didn't say that.
David Blunt didn't say that, but Tate's saying he did. So Tate's lying now about what happened to try to make look. A Democrat said it, so you can't do it. I mean, and the way he's doing it to me is also bothersome. Like he's being so, I don't know, for lack of a better term, crazy. It looks like a crazy person is taking over, like a drunk teenager is taking over the social media, and is just acting like a nut.
But we all want safe elections, secure elections. I don't like the word safe elections. I mean, I don't feel threatened.
Yeah, it's not like, like I'm getting raped or something.
Yeah, we all like secure elections. I think, duh. And the difference that I'm understanding between this and absentee is when you absentee, it goes to an envelope, then the envelope is opened up by a human on election day, and it is put in the machine, where now your vote would be stored in the machine.
Right.
So unless they're worried about some kind of the machine being corrupted or hacked into, well, these machines aren't supposed to be hooked to the internet.
No, they're not. So how's that going to happen?
I guess you had to hook a computer up to it, or a memory stick thing, and you download the information, then upload it to a computer. Look, I know anything can be corrupted. I get it. But I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt here. And until we have evidence of that happening here, why should we assume that's happening here? Stay on top of it. Do our jobs. Don't get lazy. But I think it forces more accountability, if anything. And that'll fall back on the Secretary of State's office, I believe. And
don't you, and since we're one of only 3 states that do not have this, couldn't we look to the data from the other states of what's going on there? Are they having, theft problems? Are they having data corruption problems or issues like that? I think we could do like a study on that and find out.
Maybe. You know what it almost feels like as I sit here and run this through in my head? It almost feels like the conservatives are stealing elections, and they're doing it on election day, and they don't want that bothered. That's the way it comes across to me. Is like Tate is reacting about this like Democrats are reacting about USAID.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. And I thought about that too. It's kind of like Tate doesn't want certain people to vote for some reasons, and and I don't know who the groups are he's talking about, because to me it seems like this early voting is going to only help. Mississippi is primarily a blue collar state. Yeah, it's going to help working people.
Yeah, I don't know who he's thinking isn't voting right now that would be able to vote that would hurt the conservatives, unless that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, or like maybe that he feels like if more blue collar voters get out there and vote, then they're going to vote conservatives like him out, who's more of an establishment. I guess you would call that kind of a country club conservative, the word we use.
Yeah, we don't like them.
Yeah, I mean, you had issues with him obviously over the years, and so maybe he's worried about that.
We're not fans of the country club, white collar conservatives. Your Michael Guests of the world, stuff like that. Your Roger Wickers. We don't like them. We want them out.
And so if more people that are against that can vote, it makes it easier. It hurts them. So because they're not, I don't think they're really worried about. I mean, this state is not going to vote for a Democrat, governor or any statewide office for a very long time. I think we're looking at probably another 20 years before that for demographics change for that to happen. But so he's not worried about that. So it seems like it's really more of a battle in the Republican Party more than anything else, or the conservative movement, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I would really love to understand the real reason for this, because it's gotten personal real quick. We need to take another break. We've got to stay on schedule while we're out of the studio. We got our producer back at the studio. We're here live. Juniker Jewelry, Highland Colony Parkway, Madison, Mississippi. You got Shaun YURTKURAN. You got Clay Edwards. Doors swing open at 9 a.m. Swing by here. See us. I'll stick around till about 10. Would love to meet anybody that's in the area. We don't get over to Madison too much. We'll be right back on WYAB. All right, we are back live here on WYAB. Oh, that's terrible. Broadcasting live from Juniker Jewelry here on Highland Colony Parkway for Valentine's in Madison, Mississippi. Let's go live here to the Mazda of Jackson phone line. We got Jerry on the line. He wants to respond to the early voting conversation.
Hey, Clay, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Clay?
Matt, we can't hear anything on our end.
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you, but I'm not coming through.
Oh, Jerry, you're coming through now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I wanted to be your guinea pig, see if we could get that remote thing to work. So I had a situation, I think it was 22 during the midterms, where, of course, this is where not being educated on election law can bite the average citizen. So, as you know, we do storm relief stuff, and voting's in November. So, of course, I show up on a Friday because the company told me, hey, you'll be out of town next week hauling stuff back and forth to Florida, I believe it was. And so I was like, that's fine, I'll go ahead and go vote. Well, I get there, and they told me, no, early voting or absentee voting, I think, stops 30 days before Election Day. I said, okay, so can I fill out like a provisional or paper ballot? No, sir, can't help you. I was like, so what is my recourse? Nothing. I said, so you're telling me that I absolutely cannot vote in any way in this upcoming election? No, we're sorry. So that was when I got my first taste of some of these things need to be fixed.
Yeah, early voting, I want to say stopped here like a week before the elections last time, or maybe a few days before. You couldn't like vote right up to Election Day. There was a break. But I didn't know about 30 days. In person, I believe. Say that again?
I said that was early in-person voting, I believe. I was trying to vote absentee since I was actually going to be out of the state.
But yeah, well, I was referred to absentee also. I'm sorry. I keep calling it early voting because that's what it is to me. But yeah, interesting. Was that from Mississippi, you said?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that was in Canton because I live in Madison County.
I'd have to look into that. I'm not 100% sure on that. That seems a little weird.
Yeah, me either. But like I said, that was my first taste of that. And if you've got a second, a little off topic. If not, if you got to go, I get it.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So you know me, I'm the prototypical silent majority, but I'm Kim Wade all the way. So I actually went to that gripping green, stood over in the corner with Kim, talking with him. Saw you over there at the table, and I'll apologize I didn't come speak. But you were talking, you had a representative, I believe, in there yesterday about school choice.
But it's a former educator. He's not a representative. He was an educator for 26 years. He's an insurance salesman now.
Yeah, I got you. I would love, you and I need to sit and, like you said, we need to be in a private location where we can just chop it up. But I'll put it to you this way. Back when I was digging into a bunch of that, when my kids were coming up through the school system, JT from Super Talk and I used to go back and forth a lot on this. At the end of the day, take Georgia, for example. The entire state of Georgia, and my information may be outdated, but I'm pretty sure the entire state of Georgia has 5 school districts. And they have more people in Atlanta than we do in our entire state. So if they can figure it out, why do we have to have 82 counties with 80 whatever different school districts?
But it's a lot of wasted money on superintendents.
There you go. You just said the magic word, money. That's the reason we have 82 school districts, money. So
it's more, I think it's like 121 school districts.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How many?
Like 121, 127. I can't remember the number. I had a little sheet with this, but yeah, it's like 121 to 127 school districts, something like that.
Yeah, and like I said, when you start digging into it, your mind will be blown. And I'm not going to call the county out because, like I said, my information's outdated. But I'm pretty sure there's a county. JT actually told me this 10, 15 years ago. There's a county in Mississippi that has a superintendent and no school district. The county superintendent's job is to make sure that the kids who live in that school district get on the bus to go to the closest school district, which is outside the county.
I've actually got the numbers. It's 144 school districts in Mississippi, 241 high schools. If you compare that to the state of Florida, they have 73 school districts and 1,169 high schools. The population of Mississippi is 2.94 million. Florida's 22.6 million.
There you go.
I mean, yeah.
Well, it speaks for itself. Just no one wants to pay attention because everybody's trying to go to work and make a living and do other things. And the people who do have time to pay attention don't want you paying attention. So anyway, guys, appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll keep listening.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, man.
Yeah, Shaun, it definitely a lot of waste when it comes to money in these school districts. Like I said, you and I have a friend that did work for JPS, and he just talks about the extravagant furniture and everything in those offices, and it just blows my mind. Actually, it doesn't surprise me at all. It just blows my mind that somebody's not auditing it and doing something about it.
Yeah, I mean, I always say this a lot, and I've said this before, for a state that talks about, we're so conservative, we don't like government, man, we got a lot of it. I mean, we have a lot of it. A lot of people are surviving on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no reason to have that many school districts and that many superintendents, that kind of administration. I get it. I mean, they're all making, what do they, each one of those superintendents make?
A six-figure minimum.
Yeah. I mean, and we're all paying for that. And just... I think if you look, Florida's got the number one, I think, education system in the country. I think that's right. I don't know. I'd kind of parry off what they're doing. Now, we've improved. I'm not an expert on this issue by any means. I've just read kind of rudimentary about it and stuff that we are on an upward trajectory. I'm sure somebody can correct me on this, what that is. But I don't think that's because we have so many school superintendents.
No, it's because they installed this third grade reading test stuff. Mm-hmm. Because last year it was all about the third graders. This year they're pushing the fourth graders.
Okay.
Because now you've got the results for however long on this third grade test that they all got to take to pass to go to fourth grade.
Yeah.
It's like this big deal. And now, of course, our fourth graders are the best readers or the best improvement on reading. Whatever. That's the number they're jockeying right now. Something to do with our fourth graders and reading. So, and of course they're saying the black kids are reading better than ever too, which, how do you track that?
I mean, I guess do they mark race on the form, the test?
I mean, why are we tracking black kids can read better than white kids, or not better, but are reading better? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Kids, can we just say kids?
Kids are, yeah. I don't know. I guess they mark that down when they take the test.
I don't care. Our black kids are reading.
Yeah, I mean, they do that. I think they do that nationwide, though.
I mean, period. I don't think we don't need to be separating kids by race and their reading abilities. I think it's a bit ridiculous that we're tracking it by race.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's something that we've always. I don't mean just us, Mississippi as a whole. I think nationwide, it's something we've tracked by racial groups. We track it by gender too, though.
I mean, they didn't talk about
sex. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I used the word.
If you're going to tell me how good black kids are doing, how good are white kids and Hispanic kids doing?
I think we know that because we mark that down by those things, and so we know how many women are doing better most subjects than men. I think men are do better in math.
Well, no. But what I'm saying is they keep talking about here in Mississippi here lately, and Tate and others, that our black kids are reading so much better. Well, what about our white kids and our Hispanic kids? They're not telling us that number. They're only telling us the improvement number on the black kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's virtue signaling then. If you're, that could be.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, that could be virtue signaling, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's pandering. It's virtue signaling. It's a lot of things. It's insulting.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it from that perspective. I mean, I'm just talking from a sheer, I know we break it down by demographics and certain, racial groups, sex, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I guess my point is, if the black kids are doing so well, why do we need school choice?
Well, I don't think that's. I mean, I don't know if it is. I mean, it's always just not just about black kids. It's about, I think, kids, and I think it's more of a class thing than anything else. In my opinion, it's a class. It's a class thing. It's not just a racial thing. I mean, because I'm sure there's white kids in school districts that aren't that good that can transfer.
Yeah, we got a text from a Guns and Gear text line. Told me I sound stupid right now, and said, "No, it's not. I don't know what you're talking about. It is pandering."
What?
I believe they're responding to my comment about it's pandering to constantly blow up what the black kids are doing.
Oh,
it is. There's no other reason to say it.
I mean, I could, well, then why do you think we break it down by sex? I'm sorry, I keep going to gender. I know I get attacked every time I say the word gender because it's now got a different connotation because of all this other stuff. But I mean, we do it we know that men do better in math scores than women, and I guess maybe they're just trying to.
That's fine. For whatever reason, if they feel like they need to do that, that's fine. Everybody's a male or a female. I'm just tired of the race conversation. I'm tired of being told everything needs to be equal and equality and all that, but yet we constantly break things down by race.
Mm. Well, I don't know if they're going to stop, Clay. I don't think that's going to stop. I think they'll probably continue.
It should.
But
people are tired of it.
Yeah. Well,
And then when the numbers aren't good and you mention it, you're racist for mentioning it when they're not good. But if you mention it and they are good, yes, tell us how good we're doing. Tell us how good we're doing.
Well, I'm sure Mississippi wants to get credit if black kids do better because of our history and stuff. We're like, look how good we're doing for black kids. Like I said, virtue signaling. I can see that.
Again, black kids are doing so good. Why do we need school choice?
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a race thing. To me, it's a class thing. It's not a race thing. I don't think school choice to me, doesn't shoot. I mean, at least in my view, it doesn't have anything to do with race. It has to do with if you're in a bad school, whether you're black or white.
Coincidentally, The bad districts just so happen to be the Democrat districts, which there ain't no white Democrat districts in the state of Mississippi.
No, but I mean, I'm sure there's underperforming white school districts. I don't know them off the top of my head. I'm just assuming that that's true.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's see. We got a couple minutes for our next break here. Having to stay on top of this. Looking through like 3 different clocks here.
Yeah.
Circling back, I'm school choiced out for right now. We'll be talking about it again next week.
Sure.
I've beat that drum all I can this week.
Yep.
We'll have Mr. Callan on from Empower Mississippi on Tuesday to discuss the opposite side of the.
And he can probably explain the breakdowns of that pretty well. He seems like he knows it.
We'll discuss that with him Tuesday. But the Guns of Gear text line is 769-241-1944. If you want to chime in, even if you want to call me an idiot like the previous texter did, I guess you can. But I'm just saying, man, people are fed up and tired of the conversation about race. We just are. And I think it's time to move on from it. Good. Your kids can read. Do you want a cookie? You should be teaching your kids to read at the house. That's the problem with education.
Well, if your parents can't read, then that's kind of hard too, right? That's
the problem in Mississippi. It ain't funding. It's not which district you're in. It's what's happening in the home.
I hear a lot about that, and people say that and I think it's true. I don't know. I'm not disagreeing, but here's something I don't know how government assists with that. I don't know what kind of policy you can enact to make people stay together, or act better as better parents. I don't know what you can do.
I don't think that is a government thing. No, of course I know. Keep the government out of the dang house.
Yeah.
But you need to quit expecting the government to be able to fix all your problems.
Yeah, I mean,
they start at home.
Sure, they start. And I think that's 100% true. I mean, if there's a 2-parent household and they're involved in their child's life, that kid's going to statistically do better. I think we all agree on that. And I don't think it's anything wrong with saying that. It's just it's factual. But the problem is that we always hearken back to that saying, oh, well, with a 2-parent household, well, what are we going to do about it? That's my thing. I don't know that there's anything we can do. This is people, and this isn't just a race. It's not a race thing to me necessarily. Like just as many white people get divorced constantly as black people do. So I don't know that there's anything we as a society can do to, like, we always say we need to encourage marriage. How do you do that? I always wonder, what do you think? Like, how do you encourage people to stay married?
Well, you quit rewarding people financially for staying single through welfare and the child support system and some of these other things.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about let's say you're a middle class person. The divorce rate is around 50%, maybe a little higher than that. I mean, how do you encourage those people to stay? It's kind of hard, and they got children, and every person I know is divorced and got kids.
I don't think you do. It ain't the government's job to encourage that. It's also just not our job to continue to try to find ways to fix their problems.
Right.
Every now and then, just the cream rises to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Survival of the sickest.
Yeah, I mean, you and I were talking about Patrick Bet-David had a podcast about this not long ago.
Hold that thought. Yep. We got to take a break. We'll be right back here on WYAB. Welcome back in. Let's go straight to the Mazda Jackson phone line. We got Derek going to take us to the top of the hour break.
Hey, Shaun, I'm not sure where you got your numbers, but the divorce rate is across the board high in all categories. Ever since COVID, the number was 72% of women file for no-fault divorces. Now it's 80%. So men don't leave marriages. Also in America, regardless of nationality, 6 out of 10 women are on some kind of psych meds, which have statistically led to failed marriages. And you can find these statistics on the CDC's website as well as places like blackdemographics.com. So, no, it's an epidemic in this country because the court system has made it convenient for divorce as well as single parenthood.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Shaun was implicating that there was more divorce in the black community. I thought it was pretty clear that it was pretty equal across the board.
Oh.
Yeah, I think everybody wants a divorce.
I just want to give the numbers. Yeah.
No, I appreciate the data though.
Yeah, Derek, I actually knew that women filed divorce at the highest rate.
We got to go to break. Thanks, Derek. We are back live here on 103.9 FM WYAB. We're streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa, and we are streaming worldwide and live in stunning 4K video here from Juniker Jewelry on Highland Colony Parkway in Madison, Mississippi. We're on the Save JXN, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble this morning. If you are watching live, you see my cohort Shaun YURTKURAN with the YURTKURAN law firm here in the middle of us. Congratulations to Shaun on his big we'll call
sort
it
of victory this week.
Sort of victory this week. A mistrial is a victory, and in a murder trial, a mistrial is a victory.
In the defense world, yes, it seemed to be. It's a temporary acquittal.
A temporary acquittal. I like it.
That's
I like it. So congratulations to Shaun on that. And down there on the end, you see Mr. Joe Raven. Is it Ravenstein or Ravenstein?
Jon Ravenstein.
Ravenstein. Mr. Pull your mic up a little closer there. There you go. There you go. We're one of the owners here at the Juniker Jewelry. Tell us what's going on here, man. It's Valentine's. We appreciate you guys having us out. I tell you, Shaun's going to stick around and look at some of your pre-owned Rolexes. He's very excited about that.
Yes.
I guess that is a good place to start, man. Tell us about some of those.
Well, we probably have about 15 or 20 pre-owned Rolexes right now. Very rare to have so many. We've got a lot of previously owned, almost new ones. Some of the harder to find sports models. And we probably have about 15 or 20 of them right now.
And those things are nice. Shaun and I were talking a little earlier. I'm not even a watch guy, but I just think every guy, I don't care who they are, wants a Rolex.
Well, the guy's going to have a piece of jewelry he wants a Rolex.
Absolutely. It's one of the few status symbols that, even for guys that aren't into status symbols, they won't.
That's true.
Because, I mean, they seem to be retaining their value and increasing value, and they seem to be an investment at this point.
Some of the older previously owned watches are going for more than retail.
Yeah, I was watching an episode of a podcast that Shaun and I both watched, the Patrick Bet-David PBD podcast, and he had a watch guy on, and they were just talking about some of these very rare, and this is all Greek to me, but talking about the Rolexes and the value and all the fakes that are out there and spotting those. And it's really, really interesting about a topic that I wasn't that familiar with, but when you get somebody who's knowledgeable on that, and I learned a lot about watches on that episode of that show, and I guess non-Rolexes too, but a lot of valuable stuff out there.
Yep, there is.
Interesting. Do you personally have one on a Rolex?
I do not. I do not.
Yeah, it would just be hard for me to unseat that much into something that I can't do anything but wear, but I love them. I love them, man. One day I thrive to own a Rolex, and that would be my you'll know I made it moment.
Well, we'll put one on your wrist this morning.
Absolutely. You know, what's that say? You know, there's those memes that go around the internet. I won't tell you I won the lottery, but there will be signs.
Yeah. Not you, that and a Jesus piece, right?
Yeah.
That is.
A big like rapper style medallion and a Rolex with my FAFO logo on it.
There you go.
Look, it's Valentine's out here. You guys got some great deals going on, and you've got some entry level type gifts for somebody who maybe just want to get a trinket for their significant other. Tell us about that and kind of go up from there.
Sure. Yeah, we've got things in all price ranges. You know, people think Juniker's is expensive. We don't have inexpensive things, but you know, we've got things. You know, we got 2 cases full of things for $250, all the way less than $100. So I mean, if you can afford a dozen roses, you can come in and buy a $50, $75, $100 gift. You know, we've got it all.
And it does. Every purchase, I think, comes with a rose.
Yeah, we're doing this real limited edition.
And gift wrapping.
Juniker's logo for years has been our signature red rose on our package. So we're doing a limited edition long stem silk rose today with every purchase. So it'd be kind of neat.
No, I dig it. I mean, look, 1 rose, a dozen roses. It's kind of a one-stop shop today. You get your rose and your jewelry piece or whatnot, and you get it gift wrapped. I think it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Show up to wherever your significant other is at lunchtime today, and give them a little surprise. I'm gonna tell you what. I don't care who she is. She likes to get the surprise on Valentine's, so all the other coworkers, especially the other females, know that she is loved.
Yep.
Don't ever let them tell you otherwise. It's a constant competition, and you're going to help her win today by stopping by here and getting her a nice little something and that rose. And especially if you're going to drop it off at work.
Thank you. Yeah, love to see you.
Yeah, let me give you a pro tip, as they say. Take it from the 47-year-old divorced single guy here. Pro tip: things I should have done. Things I should have done. Well, look, tell people about some other stuff. Y'all got this amazing program. Shaun and I talked about this a little bit earlier. The diamond trade-in thing where it saves its value.
Yeah.
You get the same value. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We call it our Diamond Stud program, and we have diamond studs starting at any price. We've got them starting at $200 and going up over $100,000. And all women would love to have a pair of nice diamond studs, but what stops most people from buying a large pair is when you're buying 2 big diamonds at once, it's out of most people's price range. So we came up with this idea to sell a pair of diamond studs, no matter what you pay, no matter where you start. You trade them in, you get exactly what you paid towards a bigger, more expensive pair, and you can choose to do that as many times as you want. I mean, I've had people trade in their diamond studs 8, 10, 12 times. Start at $200, $300, $400, $500, and now they're wearing a $15,000, $20,000 pair of diamond studs, and they did it over many occasions, and it didn't hurt.
You know, I compared that to, imagine if you could go buy a car,
right?
Drive it for a couple years, and trade it back in for the exact amount of money you paid for it. It's unheard of.
Right. It's unheard of in the industry, and we've been doing this for years, and people love it.
I like Shaun. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great deal. I mean, and the car analogy is that would never happen with a car. So
or anything else.
Or anything else.
Off the top of my head.
But no, cars are a good example because, like, if you could do that, anybody would do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a great deal.
It's kind of like leasing, sort of, but you actually own the studs.
Yeah.
That's a great deal. Let's see here. You've got some other. I just love that. I think that is a phenomenal deal. And I don't know if it's as far as like investment. But with the way the dollar can kind of go up and down, investing in diamonds, it feels like kind of like investing in gold at this point. They seem to be going up in value, and you know, it seems like a good investment.
Well, they never lose their value here.
Obviously not.
Yep.
Obviously not. Look, so you guys also do on-site jewelry repair?
We do. We have 4 full-time jewelers on staff. Everything is done right here. So sizing rings, rebuilding rings, setting diamonds. You know, we do it all. Redesign, custom orders, everything right here in our own shop.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of places have to send it off and stuff.
Exactly. And how would you feel sending grandma's ring out somewhere you don't know where they're sending it? I mean, it's just an unsafe.
Because I've never thought about this till I mentioned it out loud here, but I could see where you would go into somewhere you think is trusted, and they're going to send your diamond off, and maybe they replace your diamond with a little cubic zirconia or something, and you don't know how that happened. But obviously, you don't have to worry about that here because it never leaves. It never leaves the establishment.
Yeah, it's right under our own eyes, right in our own supervision. Everything's recorded in our shop. So, I mean, everything's safe, secure. My jeweler's been working me. One's been working here 30 years. One's been working here for 20 years. I mean, it's just like...
Must be a great place to work with that kind of employee retention there.
We hope so.
You know, and that says something.
Yeah, we've been in business for 80 years, so, you know, if something happens, you know, Jackson's a small town. Things get around, so you can't do anything like that in a small town like this.
Actually, just got a text from a friend of ours, Tyler, on the Guns and Gear text line. Says one of your jewelers is a good friend of his, and he actually built his wife's wedding ring for him. So,
thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tyler, for chiming in there. I always love to get the local cosign, as I call it.
There you go.
You know, you can't beat that. You can't buy that kind of advertising.
That is true.
You know, the referral of sorts, the cosign on. What about financing options for people? What kind of financing options do you guys offer?
Well, we do. We always do 1 year, same as cash. That's a given anytime. Every once in a while, we'll have. We are able to get some 5-year 0% financing. That happens about twice a year. And it'll happen again later this summer. But anytime somebody wants something, we'll work with each individual on a one-on-one basis. The nice thing about dealing with us is, you know, myself or my nephew Corey, we're always here. So we deal with each customer on an individual basis. We don't, you know, check the boxes on a sheet. Whatever the customer needs, we'll help them get it done.
You know, when I walked in last week for the first time, just to kind of work the details out on this appearance here, you guys were both here. You knew me by name before I even had to introduce myself. It really made me feel welcomed and comfortable in a very nice. This is a fancy place. I mean, it's very nice, and you pull up and you're like, "This is a beautiful facility." You come in, and you know, sometimes when you see a really big, beautiful facility, there can be a little intimidation about walking in somewhere, especially if you're not used to going in places like this. And I mean, the second I walked in the door, I felt like I was right at home. It was just, you know, you guys were so nice and welcoming, and it wasn't just me. There were other customers in here too, and it was the same way. Like any intimidation or anxiety you may have about walking in somewhere, there's such a beautiful facility. It's gone the second you walk in. The guys, they're going to get you taken care of. I want to circle back to some of the $250 and less stuff. And what kind of pieces would that be? If somebody wanted to come in, what's a big seller, something that seems to make the ladies especially happy?
You know, I've got a wide selection of silver bracelets, necklaces, earrings. Same with I've got a really cool line that is vermeil with pearls. I mean, it's most of it $200 and less. I mean, it's just like fashion oriented. It's cool, hip, and just got a lot of it to choose from. And most anybody can afford $100, $150, $200 for Valentine's Day, and that's what we specialize in this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, let me just say this to my fellows out there listening. I mean, if you can't, you may not need to be in a relationship right now. You got your priorities a little mixed up.
Cost of an Uber ride, guys. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, you may have your priorities a little out of whack if you can't afford $100 to let her know that you appreciate her. Yeah. You ain't got to be in love yet. Just let her know you appreciate her.
Yep, that's true.
And get you taken care of here at Juniker Jewelry. We're right here on Highland Colony Parkway. What's the exact address, John?
1485 Highland Colony Parkway.
1485 Highland Colony Parkway. We're right over here by Madison Central High School. If you know where that is, you can't miss it. What's that, 463? The exit, is that Highway
463, and we're right next to Broadmoor Baptist Church.
Okay, yeah, yep. Great location there, and right across the street from the new Kiefer's.
Yep.
And this is a random question. It has nothing to do with this, but I've been meaning to ask somebody this. What are they building across the street here? What is that big building? Do you know?
It's another medical building.
That was my guess. Somebody had asked me the other day, said, do you know what they're building over there? I said, I'm going to guess a medical facility. Yeah. We like our medical facilities here in the South. So a lot of sickly people, got to keep them taken care of. Oh, look, John, we're going to go to our break. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much.
Here, and we're really excited to be here. And we've already had somebody text a minute ago and said, I'm outside. Can I come in? I said, not till 9. We'd love to meet anybody. I know I'm going to stick around till about 10 o'clock this morning. Would love to meet anybody that wants to swing by and say hello to us. Like I said, we don't get to do too many live remotes and whatnot out in Madison. We're usually over in Rankin County or Jackson, but we're out here today. Want to meet anybody that wants to swing by, get you a free sticker from myself. Meet me. Shaun will be here for a minute, and check out some amazing jewelry, whether it's for yourself or for your significant other. Guys, come check out these Rolex watches. They got them pre-owned, and they got them available now. We'll be right back on WYAB. We're going to discuss Andy Gibson versus the city of Jackson over a cell phone tower at the fairgrounds. It's getting ugly. They're slinging mud. You know we like that here on the Clay Edwards Show. Broadcasting live from Juniker Jewelry on Highland Colony Parkway, Madison, Mississippi. We'll be right back on WYAB. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. We got the video stream rolling here from Juniker Jewelry. We want to thank Jon Ravenstein for jumping in and discussing some of the great deals they've got going on here today. If you're watching online, man, they have set 2 real deal Rolexes right in front of the camera for us. So if you want to jump online and look at those Rolexes, they are now there for your viewing pleasure. Hey, look, man, if you're looking for something to do tonight, the rodeo after party, the Valentine's Day throwdown we'll call it the Valentine's Downtown Throwdown at Martin's Downtown. You got Burnham Road, the country brother and sister cover band. Well, they play originals too. They got a new, I was out there and watched them film a video the other day. So they'll be playing originals. They'll be playing covers. You got Burnham Road. They're one of the biggest drawing bands here in Mississippi. They're playing live tonight at Martin's Downtown after the rodeo. And then don't forget tomorrow night, Saturday, the rodeo after party at Martin's. You got the Jason Miller Band. But hey, maybe the nighttime thing ain't your thing. Don't feel left out. You can get on to Martin's Downtown or Livingston today for Fried Chicken Friday. That's the blue plate. So many other places do great fried catfish. Martin's has fried catfish available on the menu every day. So it's fried chicken as the special today, the award-winning fried chicken there at Martin's from both locations starting at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. 5 days a week, blue plates every day. Fried chicken is the meal of the day at Martin's. Shaun, YURTKURAN.
What's up?
First off, congratulations. I know we said it in a minute. Congratulations on your mistrial.
Yeah.
I'd say in that type situation, a mistrial is a bit of a victory. Happy for y'all.
Yeah, it was. It was a tough case. You said it was a capital murder, kidnapping, armed robbery case. It was a case of there was a child stolen out of house in Jackson. Yeah, kidnapping, stolen. It was a kidnapping charge, right? So, yeah, that's it. So actually, me and Lindsay Beckham tried it, even though she's not a lawyer, but she did a great job. I thought of things I wouldn't have thought of. So it's good to have somebody else there that can point out things. The judge let her sit there with me. So
good. I mean, look, it's a good experience for anybody just to do something. I know y'all worked really hard on that deal. I mean, I didn't get to talk to you much at all last week because you were nose down, and this week for that matter.
Yeah.
So congrats on that. I always like to see my friends doing well.
Yeah, I went home yesterday and took like a 5-hour nap. I mean, because you're just not, when you're in a trial, you're just not sleeping. You're just working really hard, and you just don't have a minute free. And the thing, that's what Lindsay said to me. She's like, God, I didn't realize this was so exhausting. I'm like, because you're thinking the whole time. You're in there for like 8 hours, just constantly moving, and yeah, it'll wear you out, man. It was a lot easier when I was younger. It was a lot easier when I was in my early 30s and I could do this. But it was the worst part about it was, so the big courtroom. This is actually a good discussion about Jackson. The big courtroom in Hinds County got really damaged because of the rain. And then they found out it wasn't ADA compliant, so now they're going to have to shut it down for 2 months, that big courtroom where they qualify all the juries. And they got to find a new location to do that. Like they were using, I know, the Westin for the grand juries. It was out in the media a while back. So that's going to be another, problem. And one thing I noticed when I was in there, we weren't trying the case in the big courtroom. It was a smaller courtroom. The ceiling is still messed up, and now they're finally working on that. This has been since my time, and I've left the DA's office 10 years ago. That the courtrooms are leaking, and I was telling you last night on the phone, like, why isn't this something that they've taken care of over the course of the last decade? It just seems like there's an air conditioning problem in the courthouse. Like, it's really so hot still, even in the winter, even because it was a little warm week this week until today. And so they got an air problem. Apparently now they're going to work on that. The courtrooms are leaking. One of the courtrooms, not the big courtroom that's now they can't use. The other one across the hall from where we were is not ADA compliant either. So they got like blankets over everything, so not even using that one.
We're saying not ADA compliant. I know that's Americans with Disabilities Act. What is not ADA compliant about the air conditioner or the leaks?
Well, no, that's not related. Apparently, there's some other things about access to the courtroom. I don't know exactly specifically what the problems were, but I guess that was ancillary to the leak problem.
Gotcha.
Maybe an inspector discovered that or something.
Well, maybe a move will be a good thing. It'll have air conditioning and heating and no leaks. I mean, this will actually be a positive for the people that have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just but we were. I don't understand. The county's spending all this money on other things, and you've got this courthouse that obviously needs to be used quite a bit considering the crime problem we've got, and they and they don't put any money into. I mean, fixing isn't like a simple issue, like fix the AC, fix the roof.
But they donated $1 million to JSU.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a state-run facility, right?
Donated $1 million to JSU. What? Why?
I mean, when you've got a courthouse that is like 100 years old now, something like that, and you don't want to properly maintain it. Like we're talking about proper maintenance of things, and I don't know why that's not a priority.
Me either. Let's pivot.
Yep.
Good congratulations. And
Thanks.
Yep,
Thanks.
Hinds County going to Hinds County.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. Well, I got a lot to say about that, but that's where I'll stop it at today.
Sure.
Look, Andy Gibson and Missy McGee? Missy McKee. Let me see. I got her name. She's a state rep. Let me pull the text back up. Missy McGee are kind of going at it online. The city of Jackson wants to put a cell phone tower down on the fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. And let me circle back to Andy's Facebook post here about it, because it's rather interesting battle going on there. I want to read Andy's post, and Andy reached out to me this morning after I mentioned that we were going to discuss it on the show. So I do appreciate Commissioner Gibson reaching out this morning and kind of clarifying his stance. But let me read his post here real quick. It says, heads up, House Bill 994 would require the taxpayers of the state of Mississippi to fund the acquisition of a cell phone tower owned by the city of Jackson located at the old Eudora Welty Library and rebuild a cell tower for Jackson on the state fairgrounds. The bill also requires the state to grant a 50-year lease of the fairground property to the city of Jackson for the low price of $1, paid to the state under the proposed bill. The city of Jackson will retain 100% of the cell tower revenue, even though it will be located on the state of Mississippi property at the taxpayer's expense. Sounds just like something the city of Jackson would do to thumb its nose up at Mississippi. Keep in mind, this is the very same city of Jackson that sued us to stop a billboard on the fairgrounds. Hopefully the Senate will be able to see through and stop this brazen move by Jackson. Like and share if you agree with me that Mississippi has done enough to bail out the corrupt administration of the city of Jackson. Now, I want to read Missy's response here. And she says, this is obviously her bill, I'm assuming. Right. Never being one to let the truth stand in the way of a good story, our Commissioner of Agriculture, Andy Gibson, has once again shared information that he knows is not accurate or even true. I'm surprised you didn't say misinformation.
That's disinformation.
Disinformation, even. The House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed HB 994, which would allow a cell tower to be moved from a piece of land donated by the city of Jackson to the state of Mississippi in order to create a park and enhanced. There's the green space, Sean.
That's right.
To create a park and enhanced entrance to our Museum of Mississippi History and Museum of and Mississippi Civil Rights Museum, commonly referred to as the two Mississippi museums. The bill requires the bill requires for the cell tower to be relocated a block away at the state fairgrounds where there is ample space. The city of Jackson has owned the cell tower on the current site for years and has received the lease revenue from the tower. In a spirit of cooperation and at the request of the Department of Archives and History, the city of Jackson transferred the property to the state at no cost. In exchange, the state will allow the city to continue to receive the revenue from the relocated cell tower. The bill does not require the taxpayers to fund the project. You would think Andy, being a corporate attorney, would more accurately read the bill.
I love how she throws in he's a corporate attorney. Kind of goes against his persona of the.
Well, let me say this. Look, I don't like. Let me say, Andy's done a really good job at the fairgrounds.
I think he has too. I've never said anything.
And I think he's earned the right. And I told him this was exactly what I told Andy this morning. You've earned the right to decide what you think is best for the fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. Because it was borderline in disrepair when he got down there. Yeah. And he has helped, obviously with funding from the legislature, they have done a lot of work down there. Mm-hmm. And the fairgrounds looks better than it has looked in my entire lifetime. So I understand Andy not wanting to throw a cell phone tower up just randomly on the property down there.
Yeah.
Just because it's a bunch of space don't mean that you want a dang cell tower up in a corner or in the middle of it or anywhere else. You may need that for something. That may end up disrupting a potential project in the future.
Okay.
That's just my initial reaction. And I find it funny. And look, I'm not going to attack Missy here, but I do find it a little funny that she mentioned about how the city of Jackson donated this land. And I originally read it wrong last night when I saw it. I thought she was talking about that they donated the land for the two museums. Mm. She's talking about they donated the land at no cost of Eudora Welty, I guess, so they can turn it into a green space. Mm-hmm. Well, who's paying to tear Eudora Welty down? I'm curious, is the city of Jackson paying for that, or I
have no idea,
or is the state paying for that?
I will say something though. I mean, if they did donate it and they have to move the cell tower, isn't that up to the state, the legislature, decide where, not Andy, where it's moved? Yeah. I mean, it's up to them, isn't it?
Well, it is. But Andy's.
He's mad about it. I get his anger.
He's fighting he's fighting where it's being moved to.
Yeah, and I understand why he doesn't want it moved, and I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying it seems like, I don't know, what's the city of Jackson's really role in this then? Like, it seems like it's the state is deciding where to move this cell tower from this land that was donated.
Well, that's a valid point. I don't know whether. I guess I need to look at that. That's a good point. What I mean? Because
like
the city of Jackson, him not wanting it there.
Yeah, I can get him. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying it seems like he's blaming the city of Jackson. It's the legislature is deciding to move it over there, not Chokwe. I mean, if Chokwe was here, I'd be like, all right, don't move it. But, it seems like it's just maybe they can find another. Maybe they can talk to Andy and find another place to put it. I don't know. I mean, maybe come to some kind of agreement on it. But
move it over there in front of the Capitol.
Yeah, right, exactly. Put it there. Put it to the entrance so nobody can come in and we don't have any more of these bills passed.
Put it over there. Put it over there at the old Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like we got a lot of state-owned land around there that you can put a cell phone tower where it's not actually somewhere people mix, mingle, and have events. Because they're unattractive.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I actually don't disagree with Mayor Mary about. Well, she's done a great job. I don't disagree with her on much at all, to be honest. Just a few little things. The way she makes them out here in Madison, disguise the cell phone towers. Now it does hurt the one that looks like the Washington Monument does seem to affect the service out here a little bit. But other than that, I like her. I like her energy. Look, we got to take a break real quick. We ran over here on this segment. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun YURTKURAN. We are live here at Juniker Jewelry. They open at 9 a.m. We've already had some people knocking on the door, getting ready to come in and get these great deals for Valentine's. So I hope to see y'all all here. 9 a.m. Doors swing open at Juniker Jewelry here on Highland Colony Parkway. We will be right back with more on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here from Juniker Jewelry here on Highland Colony Parkway in Madison, Mississippi for the Clay Edwards Show. We got Shaun YURTKURAN to my in the middle here, and down on the far end down there, you may, if you're watching on the live stream on Save JXN, Facebook, YouTube, X, or Rumble, you'll see Corey Ravenstein. Corey, did I get it right? Is it Ravenstein or Ravenstein? Ravenstein. I will get it right before I get out of here. Ravenstein. Corey, could you move just close to the mic as you can get there? And we got Corey on here. And again, if you're watching live, you'll see we got a couple Rolex watches, the real deal Holyfields, sitting there on the counter. Corey, tell us about these watches and anything else you want to get off your chest, brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. We have a large selection of pre-owned Rolexes. Some are actually 2023 and a little bit older. But the ones we have here, we have the Submariner here with this is the two-tone. This is what a lot of people call the Starbucks, which is the green bezel and black dial. We've also got a date just here, and I've got a couple of Submariners right now.
What would be the difference in those?
It's just one's going to be more of a dressier watch, and one is going to be more of a casual watch. They call it the professional series, or it's more for your divers. But it's been worn for people wear them with tuxedos. They wear them with swimsuits. I mean, it's a great everyday piece.
Yeah, they're gorgeous watches. I've been over here picking at Shaun since we got here about him getting himself one. Like, come on, Shaun.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do the thing. You just won a big case this week. Reward yourself. Treat yourself.
Treat myself. And one day I'm going to do it. It's going to happen.
Treat yourself. Corey, we were talking to your Uncle John a little bit earlier and about some of the great deals you got going on here for Valentine's. And we were talking about some of the $250 and less stuff. What are some of the more popular items that you've seen that a guy could come in here today and really try to score some points with his significant other, or maybe even a hopeful significant other?
Well, we're always trying to score points with our significant other, but I've got earrings starting at $45 and going up. I do a lot of sterling silver items. I do the gold vermeil items, very popular. Diamond studs starting at $300 and going up. Diamond hoops. Diamond hoops are the second easiest earring for a lady to wear. Something that they'll put on, wear all the time. It has a little link to it, so it shows up great. You can wear it very casual. You can dress it up. You can wear it to dinner. So it's just a wonderful piece.
What would be more popular with the ladies? I'm glad you mentioned that, like the hoops or the studs.
Really two different looks, but the diamond studs, I can't tell you how many ladies come in and say, I put these on, I wear them day in, I had to wear them day out. Every day, they're just my go-to earrings.
Kind of work well with everything.
They do.
From yoga pants to dress pants.
Absolutely, because we all know the ladies love yoga pants. But, yes, so the hoops are great as well. I mean, you really just can't go wrong. But every lady needs a pair of diamond studs. That's just always a great staple.
And what price range are the studs starting at?
I've got some great studs around $300 and going up. Everybody, of course, is trying to shoot for that 1 carat, but you can start out at any price and just kind of work your way up.
Are those included in y'all's diamond trade-in program?
Absolutely. So start out with $300. These are also great gifts for, you've got your little girl at home, your daughter. I mean, that's always a wonderful thing as well because you start them young, you can grow them over the years, and in 5-10 years, they've got a beautiful, beautiful pair, and they'll wear them every day and enjoy them.
Something else I like, and we were talking to your uncle about, was everybody every purchase today gets a rose and gift wrapping.
Absolutely, because hey, us guys, we never like to wrap things.
I couldn't. I put it in not a garbage, but like I reuse grocery bags, the plastic grocery bags.
There you go.
Here. That's not garbage in there. It's not groceries. That's it. That's your gift wrap.
There you go. We'll call that the Clay Edwards special.
You can get pajamas and stuff now with your face on them and your significant other's face on them. I wonder, can you get gift wrap with your face made on it? I would like to get some of mine, like printed on it a lot, and just start wrapping all my gifts with my picture on it.
Just put like an FAFO sticker on the gift.
Yeah,
right?
That's absolutely. I like to brand all of my gifts from now on.
There you go.
No, look, all kidding aside, Tell us a little bit about the history of Juniker Jewelry. I know your uncle said you had some jewelers that have been here 30 years. How long has Juniker been around? How long have you been at this location? Where did you start? Give us a little bit of the info on you guys.
Yeah, the business started in 1944 by John Juniker, who is my grandfather's uncle, and my grandfather started in the business full time when he was about 16, and he worked in the business many years. Started out as an apprentice as a watchmaker, and he really loved watchmaking and jewelry repair. And in 1969, my grandfather had the opportunity to buy the business when his uncle was retiring, and my grandfather and father and uncle, they all moved down from St. Louis, where they were living at the time. And we've been doing it ever since. We've been in multiple locations in downtown Jackson, the Pozzegani building, which was now the Regions building.
That's right. I remember y'all being down there.
Yeah. And then we moved to Highland Village. We're in 2 different locations in Highland Village. And then we moved out to Madison in about 9 years ago now.
Same location?
Same location.
This is a beautiful facility.
Thank you.
I mean, it truly is. When I pulled up the other day, I was like, gosh, it's like, I don't know what you expect. I guess there's so many strip malls and stuff now. When you pull up to a big standalone building dang near, it's like, wow, this is so nice. And you just walk in, and it's just very elegant but yet welcoming at the same time.
Absolutely. We're very lucky. We have clients from all over the state who come to see us. We'll have farmers coming in with mud on the boots to gentlemen in suits. I mean, we help everybody, and we're so thankful for that.
And look, y'all do custom jewelry?
Absolutely.
So, but we were joking around, but sort of. So somebody, you remember like back in the 90s, all the rappers had the medallions with the record label, like No Limit and Death Row and all that, and Cash Money. I mean, if somebody wanted something like that, could y'all facilitate that?
We can do anything that you would like. We have done it all over the years. I mean, anything you possibly think of, from diamond tiaras to whatever, we have done it.
I mean, I don't know how many Clay Edwards Show listeners want a diamond-studded FAFO medallion, but just saying, guys, if y'all get one to use my trademark, you're going to have to get me one too.
Absolutely.
No, obviously we like to have fun and joke around here on the show a good bit, but just my point being, you guys can do anything.
We can. We have many clients who just walk in and they may have a picture. They may, hey, I just had this idea. They maybe scratch down on a napkin, and I've got some very talented jewelers who can take that rendering all the way to a finished product, and it's just amazing.
And I'm guessing you'll have like some software and stuff that can put it in and kind of show you what it's going to look like before you make the full commitment.
Absolutely. So nowadays we do a lot of CAD renderings and that type of thing. We can even have 3D waxing that we do, so we can actually turn that computer animated design to a live wax, to where you can
like
put
a 3D print.
Exactly. So you can put it on your finger. You can see how you like it. Hey, I want to make it wider. I want to make it thinner. I want to make it taller. I want to put larger diamonds. Whatever. We can do all that.
That is really cool. I would have never thought about that. So jewelry stores or jewelry makers using 3D printing to test print the rings and stuff before you commit to it. That is wild, man. What a timeline to be alive in.
It really is.
Very, very much so. Shaun, have you bought any jewelry lately? I mean,
no.
Are you a jewelry guy? I mean, you're kind of a watch guy.
I like watches a lot, right? I'm looking at, I'll buy my counterfeit watches, but I think I'm going to upgrade, be an adult for once. But I don't know when the time is to actually say, okay, I'm going to spend $10,000 on a Rolex, but it's coming shortly, which I feel good. It makes you feel. I feel like I've been kind of successful when you do that. It's kind of like you said, it's a status thing.
Well,
I get it,
Well, the great thing about a watch is, it's one of those things that you truly never own. You're just always the caretaker of. You're passing down to the next generation as well. And, a watch is just one of those things you look at all the time, and it's just a reminder that, hey, you can't buy more time, and it's a very precious commodity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's I've never heard anyone that's had a Rolex and say, I wasted my money. Like, no one's ever said that. I don't think anybody looks at it that way. They look at it as something to achieve, to be able to own. And
like your uncle was saying, they're not going down in value.
No, they're really not. They do hold their value extremely well. They don't change. They don't change the styling of the watches. I mean, many of the Rolexes you see today are still the same ones that they were making 50 years ago as far as the design. So, I mean, they do hold their value extremely well because they're not always changing. They find a tried and true design and they stick with it.
Well, I didn't know that. I wouldn't have known that. So that they kind of stick with it. Don't unlike a car, they don't change body styles. But I guess like what they will change is the colors and the layouts and the formats, is the way the colors and the diamonds and the gold or silver or whatever is kind of laid out. Or the bands and all that good stuff.
Yep. But, you know, today is really about the ladies. So, I mean, come on by. We want to show you our different selection of earrings and pendants and bracelets.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Come by. We'll be here till 10 a.m. this morning. At least I can't commit to Shaun. I don't know his schedule, but I will stick around till 10, hang out down here, be looking at some jewelry myself at Juniker Jewelry here on Highland Colony Parkway. Corey, thank you for coming and sitting in with us. We'll be right back on WYAB. 5 or 6 minutes, about 5 minutes left here at Juniker Jewelry. Guys, look, we didn't get a chance to talk about all of our great sponsors too much today, but get over to McBee's also. Great blue plates there. They got fried catfish today. All 3 locations of Burgers Blues Barbecue. Their blue plate of the day is also fried catfish. We mentioned get out to Martin's tonight, Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Get over there, support Chip and the team. Get you some great homemade pizza. Your Pie out in Gluckstadt tonight. Amazing, made from scratch pizza out there as well. El Patrio Mexican restaurant there in Crossgates. They got a $49.99 Valentine's special for 2, includes several frozen drinks, supreme fajitas with the shrimp, steak, chicken, everything, some appetizers, cheese dips, dessert, all of that. A full course meal for only $49.99 at their Crossgates location only of El Patrio for Valentine's today only. Well, yesterday too, but we're past that. So get over there and enjoy that. Shaun, here in the waning minutes, you sent me an interesting article. We got to be quick about it. James Carville discussing where the Democrat Party's at.
Right.
Do you see, and what does the Democrat Party got to do, in short, to get high testosterone males, and not just straight males, but just males that are fed up? How does the Democrat Party get people back on board outside of women and low testosterone feminine men? And can they, or is it going to have to take MAGA falling on its face to do it?
The first thing I have to do is fire everybody that's in charge, of messaging, anybody in the infrastructure, the lobbyists that are running the Democratic Party. That's going to be one of the things they'd have to do. It's going to be a lot of pain, I think, for that to happen. I don't think they've fully recognized what's happened yet, because they're still they just had the DNC election.
It was terrible.
And they were still having the same rhetoric that was kind of going on. So it's like they didn't learn anything from it. So I don't know. I think maybe if they get their brains beat out in the midterms, that might help. But we'll see. We've got Trump right now is looking at his approval ratings, and most of the country's approving what he's doing. So if you're a Democrat, you're kind of like, what are you going to do? Are you complain about cutting the government? Everybody wants you to do that.
Yeah, I mean that's gotta seeing them saving billions a day in funding from corruption. I mean, who's really against that?
Yeah, this USAID, and I'd love to have a conversation about this next week when we really get into it. But it's to me, I was looking through it, I was like, how is anybody complaining about what Elon Musk is doing? Like, to me, like, that's the best part of this whole thing. I've always been an Elon fan anyway, but this is stuff that's been needed to be done for decades, and I think the public's asked for it, been screaming for it for the last 20, 30 years of we've got to cut the government. We've got to find things like what's going on with this USAID. I don't see how you can be. I've not heard one person I've talked to, whether they're a Democrat or Republican, saying, "Oh yeah, man, it's really good we were spending that money for the condoms for Gaza."
I mean, even your dad was not a Trump fan. No, he likes what's happening, right?
Loves it. Will, my buddy, called me the other day. It was
as liberal as a white liberal as it gets. As
liberal. I mean, yeah, he is out there with it, man. He always calls me a corporate Democrat, and he was like, man, he's like, I think maybe Trump's right. I was like, are you okay? And he's like, no, he's like, dude, this kind of is weird about what they were spending this money on. We'll talk about it later, but it's really, really fascinating.
All right, guys, we got 10 seconds left. Thank you, everybody. Get out here to Juniker Jewelry today. Get your girlfriend or wife or significant other some great little earrings or more. We'll see you Monday on the Clay Edwards Show.